Hello, folks. We're going to get started with the webinar here in just a minute. We're just waiting for a couple more people to dial in. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the third in our webinar series on CRM options for enterprise nonprofits. Today, we're going to be joined by Blackbaud, Linton, and Rachel. And so we thank them for participating today. And I'm going to have a little bit here at the beginning to say, first I want to just remind you of the series. We started off in May with talking about kind of tips and tricks for software selection when you're thinking about a CRM. I invite you to go back and look at those webinars. They're all posted online. Salesforce.org came in here about a month ago and talked to us about the Nonprofit Success Pack. Blackbaud is here today, and then we have 4 more coming up over the next few months. So really trying to give you a well-rounded view for enterprise and larger nonprofits about what your options are out there as you go to select a new CRM system. So just a reminder about Hello Consulting. We help folks with CRM strategy and design, figuring out what your environment and architecture should be, and what your strategies are. And really, strategy comes first. What kind of relationship do you to be able to provide your constituents? What do you want their experience to be of your organization? So it starts with the strategy, then you look at technology. We do implementation of those technologies, and then we help you utilize those technologies best to support your fundraising and engagement and mission management efforts. So a little bit about our history. I wanted to start off with a few slides today. This is fun for me to put together personally. We have a very long history with Blackbaud. It's where we got started. I was a Razor's Edge database administrator back in '93, '94. And I put the membership gifts into the Razor's Edge for DOS, for the San Francisco Exploratorium. So that on the left was the system that I probably use. Notice kids, no mouse. Wow. And I started this company in '96, helping people move off of that DOS for Razor's Edge version onto the Windows version of Razor's Edge. So some of us are very familiar on the right there with the incredible technology progression that was Windows 3.11, and of course down at the bottom right you see how we actually use the system, which was in Minesweeper all the time. Later on we got a more advanced Windows version that allowed us to play solitaire as well. So fast forward about 10 years, and you had a new version of Razor's Edge in the 7 series, and we worked with Convio, the company that really was so instrumental in launching online giving. We worked with them to help integrate Razor's Edge with the Convio product, which has now been acquired by Blackbaud and is known as Illuminate Online. And through that process, Convio asked us to help them develop a fundraising system that was eventually to become Illuminate CRM based on Salesforce. And so that was sort of the progression of Heller's history. And we then branched out to work for many years on both Blackbaud products and Salesforce. So, you know, we appreciate the breadth of systems that are available out there. And, you know, that's part of why we offer this series, is so you can get a good sense of what's available to you as you go out and look at what's going to be appropriate for your organization. So I wanted to just hit a few slides here. A concept I introduced in the first webinar, I wanted to just fill in a little bit more here, which is what kind of model should we look at as an enterprise nonprofit for how our CRM environment is going to be structured. 3 slides here that sort of show an evolution of this. And several years ago, the prevalent thinking was that a CRM would allow you to bring everything into a single database, and that was the ideal that we should be aiming for. Single database or single platform. Platform here would be perhaps saying from a single vendor or from a single vendor and their partners, but all integrated all together. and all the data stored in one place. And that model, of course, also was prevalent in the commercial sector. And in the nonprofit sector, much of the time, the technology choices that we make are based on the technology choices that the commercial sector makes for us. Now, they may choose A, B, and C as options. They spend a lot of money on those options, trying to make them work, and in the end, maybe B works, but A and C fall to the wayside. And then we in the nonprofit sector will go and avail ourselves of the surviving option, which at that point has been road tested in the commercial sector and driven down in price. So that's a real benefit to us in the in the nonprofit sector. We may be a little bit behind the curve relative to our relative to commercial organizations, but that actually works out well because they do a lot of the bleeding edge stuff, make a lot of the investments, see what works and what doesn't, and then we inherit the rest. So they had also this idea that everything would go into a single database. You think Oracle and SAP and Microsoft Dynamics and Salesforce, and they're all out there saying, oh, everything should go into our one system. And over time, the commercial organizations realized, and we see this as well in the nonprofit sector, it doesn't really work to try and do all of that in a single environment. Or it's not that it doesn't work, but as a nonprofit, it's going to be very hard to find a single something that's going to accommodate everything. And even if we can find it technically, we're already on multiple disparate systems, and we can't replace them all at the same time. That it's due to budgets and time constraints, we have to approach the replacement of our systems in a phased method, which means that we are by default then in environments where we have multiple databases from different vendors serving different needs. So then the thought was, okay, well, we're going to integrate those different databases. And we're going to take the best of breed in each business need that we have, and then we'll build integrations between them. And sometimes we as customers are building those integrations. Sometimes the vendors are building those integrations. And what are we integrating? We're integrating, the thought was we'll integrate key data to serve two primary functions. One is to support our daily business operations. If I'm going to work in database A, I need some information from database B in order to be able to do my work in A. And then also for reporting, because we want to aggregate reporting. I have a constituent who's in databases A, B, and C. I want to report on that constituent or a summary report of all constituents who have data spanning those. Well, I'm going to have to move the data into one of those databases in order to pull that report. The issue here that people discovered over time is that integration is really hard. This is the easiest integration we'll ever look. When I put the arrows on this PowerPoint, it was really, really simple. That simplicity has no relationship at all to what it actually takes to build integrations. Integrations are difficult technically. They're also difficult because you have to be very thoughtful and strategic about what you're trying to integrate and why. That works a little bit better at a daily operations side of things. You can be a little bit more prescriptive around what that's going to look like, and it's going to stay consistent over months and years. But particularly in the area of reporting, reporting is a fluid and evolving need at an organization. And so the model that is now kind of emerging as the model that both makes the most sense technically and strategically, and also financially, and because we have multiple systems and we can't get off all of them at the same time, is this one. Self-explanatory, right? Here you see you have the three databases. The yellow arrows are some targeted integrations, targeted smaller, less types of data, very specific to, it's sort of what's the minimum viable integration in order to carry out daily operational practices. And then, rather than, because you're doing these kind of smaller, skinny integrations, what else, what do you do on the reporting side? You get a BI tool, business intelligence tool, which will receive data or even pull data from the multiple databases and aggregate that information in a way to provide you very rich reporting without all of the heavy lifting that went into integrations. The other nice thing is that when you were doing integrations in order to do reporting, you were relying on the reporting tools in one of those different databases. Well, business intelligence tools are solely focused on creating great reporting environments. And so you get a much richer set of reports and dashboards and visualizations than you would get typically in a database. So with that, I just wanted to kind of introduce that concept. I think some of these things are going to be touched on today, and certainly, you know, they're going to be part of your thinking as you move forward in looking at a new system. So with that, I would like to turn it over to Linton and Rachel.
Awesome. Thanks a bunch, Keith, for getting us started. Thanks to everybody for joining us today. My sidekick, Linton, here, is going to go ahead and share his screen.
And he's working rapidly on that.
Yeah.
And should have it.
Bada bing, bada boom. Done. Okay, let's go ahead and get us kicked off. We appreciate everybody spending time with us today. In terms of what we're going to be sharing with you this afternoon, the items that we're talking about here, some of which are future-looking, are not to be distributed without permission. Our lawyers require us to say that. However, we definitely welcome conversation with everybody here, time permitting, and look forward to going through this. In terms of an agenda for today's session, we are going to be sharing our vision for enterprise nonprofits, and then talking through some of the foundations of Blackbaud's technology that help us to support organizations like yours. We're going to follow that with some real-life examples, and then, time permitting, we'll have time for question and answer. Getting rolling, I'd love to introduce us. I was teasing Linton that between the two of us, we're probably the youngest-looking group of presenters here, and who better to present the fresh new face of Blackbaud. But don't be fooled by that, because between us, we have 30 years of nonprofit and technology experience. My name is Rachel Simon. I lead solution marketing for our nonprofit group of organizations, and I've been at Blackbaud now for 10 years' time. And Linton, would you like to share that about yourself?
Happy to. So I am the director of Blackbaud's solutions team. So we're the ones that typically make these presentations to clients across the country. I recognize many of the names that I see in the attendee list, so hello to you. I've been in this industry for 20 years, in everything from managing high-scale implementations to technological architectures, and so my experience is much more on the tech side.
Awesome. Dynamic duo, and we might get carded as well as a bonus. So to give a little bit of an introduction now to Blackbaud. So Blackbaud got our start back in 1981 when our founder answered an ad to set up technology to run a private school, the Nightingale Bamford School in New York City. And we built them a student billing solution. Nightingale Bamford, we're pleased to say, is still a customer today. But that project was so successful that over the next 30 years, we expanded to serve all kinds of other nonprofit causes. In spite of that evolution, we have continued to keep our singular focus, and that is exclusively building solutions to solve for the unique needs of the social good community. Now that we've got over 35 years of serving this community, we've come to believe that moments of change almost never happen by chance. They happen because someone, that's you folks on this call here today, believes that they can happen and fights for them and doesn't give up. So we're here to power an ecosystem of good that builds a better world. And what drives our mission is to provide software, services, expertise, and data intelligence that empower and connect people to advance the social good movement. We're proud today to serve around 35,000 organizations in about 60 countries, and all of them call us their partner of choice. And these are in markets that range from nonprofit organizations to education institutions, healthcare, corporations, foundations, and individual change agents. We're committed to driving social good forward through maintaining our singular focus with an unmatched depth of experience and a unique position to share insights and best practices from across the full industry. It's this commitment that pushes us each day to be the world's leading cloud software company powering social good. And for us, that is not just you know, a day at work. It's also a way of life. For many of us here at Blackbaud, we are change agents in our daily lives. In fact, last year, Blackbaud's employees volunteered over 85,000 hours, and 25% of us have served on nonprofit boards. So it's definitely something that's a way of life and walking the walk for us here at Blackbaud. These fancy slides advance really slowly. Today we're focusing specifically on enterprise nonprofits, but in an overarching sense, Blackbaud offers total solutions that are tailored to core markets that include nonprofits, education, healthcare, foundations, and corporations. We come to this, though, with that depth of experience, understanding that organizations that have different missions and of all different sizes are going to come to the table with different needs. And a lot of what we do day in and day out, especially in Linton's line of work, is really tailoring solutions with that deep understanding of the organization's needs to fit each organization. So today, everything that we're showing you is has an enterprise nonprofit bent, but you know, the solution that we present to a smaller nonprofit or to a healthcare institution might be something different. Either way, we're aiming to provide a total solution that helps the organization from end to end. And what does that look like? So our vision for the nonprofit market is helping to optimize organizations through the complete cycle of generating resources, delivering on your programs or your mission, managing efficient operations, and assessing outcomes to be accountable to stakeholders and funders alike with technology and expertise that spans this full cycle. So CRM to us encapsulates that complete cycle, and also each of the groups of constituents that you see on these pretty bubbles here that just animated, and each of those groups of stakeholders has a different element of relationship that's all managed within this ecosystem of technology. Behind all of that, Blackbaud has an unmatched backing of technology, intelligence, expertise, payments, managed services, support. I could go on. All of this brings it together and ensures your success. We bring to bear resources that no other provider on the market does to truly superpower your nonprofit. And just a quick example of that before we turn it over to Linton. So our approach is really about putting resources in your hands to make your success that much easier. In this example from Water Mission International, we helped them to identify opportunities that were already in their database through the use of embedded intelligence right inside the technology. So within minutes of turning on their system, they were able to identify around $1 million of new potential revenue. And that's just getting started. So with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Myers to walk us through some real-life examples of this.
And thanks, Rachel. The focus of today's webinar is obviously on technology. Right? So let's make that transition from what Blackbaud does as a social good provider to how we accomplish it. Now, for years, Blackbaud's focused on providing the social good industry with the tools and data needed to support what we call the supporter journey. That means connecting donors, volunteers, and participants more deeply with your mission. But we recognize the nonprofit market's evolving, right? And there's a need to think more broadly than just supporters. So our focus today is on empowering organizations within your own journey. That means from everything from supporter acquisition, how you find new constituents, how you identify, how you manage those, engage them, to all the way through program management and ultimately outcomes-based reporting. We believe that technology is key to helping you achieve this life cycle because your supporters ultimately connected to your programs and thus to your outcomes. So our goal today is to really showcase this journey. It's giving you concrete examples of how Blackbaud's providing an end-to-end platform that can do everything from acquire supporters, as you're seeing on the screen, being able to digitally accept them, incept them from payments through things such as email sign-up. We want to make sure you can identify and understand them. figure out that full digital persona. What are they doing within your organization? What do they care about? How is this person interacting with your brand, with your mission, and how does their network allow you to extend beyond simply that persona? Now, the ideal situation is that all of this information can flow into one place. Some place that can help you recognize all of these supporters, can help you really understand their total experience, and ultimately, that can help you understand how to engage with them. So you should be able to look at a full supporter record, be able to understand everything about Jim Ballou as I'm pulling up on the screen, everything from his touch points to how he's engaged with you as an organization. And when you want to know more, be able to go into that full holistic supporter record. And what I mean by that is capturing the totality of that experience that Keith mentioned before. How do you pull together different pieces of information from his transactions to his online, to his offline interaction history within one place so you truly understand what to do with Jim? His full giving history. Again, all of my online, my offline contributions recognized in one place with the ability to drill in and know more. Now, that's part of the cycle. The real key here, though, is connecting all of that constituent engagement and transactions with the other side of the journey. Being able to truly recognize and account for these transactions all the way through donor intent. So making sure that your revenue in to your organization matches ultimately what you're using it for, all the way through proving the outcomes that your organization is generating. So having this holistic system that follows a supporter, follows a revenue, all the way through your organizational journey. So at the end of the day, you can show how your mission is being met through Blackbaud. All of your organizational KPIs rolled up together to prove, even to the point of what you're seeing here, of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, how you are impacting the social good community and how you once again are meeting that commitment to all of your funding agencies, whether they're donors, government, etc. So let's start with the technology that's powering this Blackbaud platform that I just showed. So the three tenets of Blackbaud's technological strategy are, first and foremost, an open cloud. That means making everything that I show you accessible wherever, whenever you choose. Also, using modern engineering and architecture concepts. That means really the best of breed facets of the for-profit industry. Things that I'll talk about in a moment or two, such as microservices. How do we build on that level of architecture? And how do we constantly innovate? So we are bringing the best of what we find from throughout the social good industry to you on demand. So I want to begin with an example of what we mean by this and how Blackbaud is bringing those industry-leading techniques to bear. So everyone on this call has likely had an experience with Amazon, right? They're one of the most ubiquitous technology providers in the world, and they're known for things like ease of use, personalized experience, constant innovation, and to me, they're known as crayons. I have 5 children, and guess what I'm doing right now, knowing I'm sending them to school in a week? I am last-minute shopping for school supplies that I forgot about. Right? But what's interesting really is how this technology is built and leveraged. Because Amazon leverages modern cloud technologies such as microservices, so they can rapidly and independently innovate on components like images. Did you know that their image carousel is built completely separately from their history of your purchases, from all of their reviews, from all of their checkout technologies? And because of the way they've architected that platform, they can then extend these on demand. They can leverage them in other technologies like video and Amazon Fire, right? Natural language processing and checkout in things like Alexa, or you see the Tide Amazon Dash. And that's the value of modern technology, being flexible and being able to innovate on demand. So Blackbaud's focused on delivering that same level of innovation, scale, and extensibility, all of what you just saw on Amazon, right, through an open cloud platform called Blackbaud Sky. So let me explain a bit of what this is and how it specifically benefits nonprofits. So much like Amazon or other technology vendors like Netflix or eBay, Blackbaud's focused on delivering technology in a modern microservices architecture. That means things like payments, data updates, and even reporting are being delivered in a service-focused approach that lets Blackbaud innovate quickly. That means functionality can be released in days or weeks rather than quarters or years. And when something new is created and innovative, we want to release it to a market, we can. Right? We can instantly push that out to any of our clients that are subscribing to that service. So Blackbaud is also committed to using the best open cloud technologies available to host and deliver these services. So as such, we've engaged with the top cloud providers in the world. These companies are the leaders in things like global availability, security, performance, and Blackbaud's able to leverage those benefits in everything that we do. That ultimately makes Blackbaud Sky the first enterprise caliber cloud created specifically for social good. Now, as a cloud solution provider, we're focused on making sure technology just works, right? And that's optimized for what you need. That means having the ability to see what our clients are doing in real time, to understand the pieces of functionality you're using, what buttons you're clicking, and why, so we can identify how to construct experiences that matters to you. This also extends into the technologies we provide your supporters, so we can understand how they interact with you and ultimately help you tune that experience to what's most important to them. One of the most exciting pieces of the Sky platform, though, is our commitment to making it easy to use and be extendable by our clients. So that takes two forms, one of which is the very first open source experience in the social good industry. Sky UX, as we have branded it, is essentially Blackbaud taking our 35+ years of experience and donating it back to the philanthropic industry in a usable way. It's about creating a universal experience for all of our solutions that can also be extended, again, the concept of open source, to applications that our partners create or that you create, to give your users one easy-to-use interface for everything that you touch. The second part of our commitment of extensibility is our open API framework, targeting back to the open cloud I'd mentioned before. With Sky API, our Blackbaud clients, partners, and even application developers have access to open industry standard REST APIs that let them customize, integrate, or extend functionality, which means Sky is built to fit into your world how, when, and where you need it. And the last part of the Blackbaud Sky platform is actually one of the most exciting for me, because Blackbaud's in a unique position where we have data on the entirety of the social good industry. And we're able to leverage that to develop artificial intelligence analytics solutions that can benefit your mission. So as you as an organization, I know Keith was showing BI earlier, as you move from simply reporting on data to using it to actually recommend actions, Blackbaud's focused on making artificial intelligence and big data a reality in this industry. That means delivering outcomes that organizations can use immediately. For example, tagging every single supporter in your file with demographic, with wealth, with social data, think descriptive data, and then using historical behavior so we can automatically recommend next steps for constituencies, like what to do with a lapsing donor. Again, now think prescriptive recommendations powered by artificial intelligence. Now, our platform openness also extends to our partners. We fully believe in providing our clients with access to industry-leading solutions. That might be an integration platform, such as Workato. That might mean an online bidding platform, an event management platform, such as you're seeing here with Bidder, to ultimately volunteer solutions, where they can check in and actually manage their profile on all of their pieces of volunteer activity, such as you see here with Volunteer Hub. We want to provide you a single hand to hold in making all of these work with Blackbaud technologies. Now, let's transition from just the tech side to ultimately how this works in practice. I want to showcase some real-world examples of how Blackbaud's platform is looking at today's problems that you're experiencing and hopefully developing tomorrow's solution. To set context, let's go back about 10 minutes. Right? Our goal at Blackbaud is enabling the organizational journey. That means the technology, that means the processes that empower this end-to-end organizational experience. So as we dig into these examples, the stories I'm going to show are focusing on these holistic experiences that are more than just a single CRM. And I want to begin with recurring giving, one of the largest growth areas in the nonprofit sector. So at Blackbaud, we believe there are three important characteristics of a supporter-focused recurring giving program. That includes how you acquire supporters, right? How you match them to your existing file, how intelligent actions like predictive data and reporting are needed to manage a recurring giving program, and how your supporters want to engage with you across the channels and the vehicles that they choose. So key to the process of acquiring recurring donors is ease of use. That means making it possible to quickly accept and ultimately transact in the method and location your supporters prefer. Blackbaud considers this essential to any recurring giving program, and we ultimately ensure that that digital experience is extended to your CRM. So all supporters have a complete record that incorporates online and offline giving history with first-class functionality for recurring gifts and associated payments. That means nothing that you need to build to manage and maintain a high-volume, high-quality recurring giving process. But managing a recurring gift program is not the same as managing a major gift or even a direct marketing program, as many of you on the phone can attest. Right? Organizations need the intelligence to see how a program is performing. Right? They also need the ability to drill down into specific activities, such as finding out which supporter populations are attriting and when. Now, the most powerful of our beliefs, right, is that intelligent actions should actually tell you what to do next. Right? That means system-identified tags and recommendations utilizing artificial intelligence to identify these facets of your supporters and make recommendations on what to do. That intelligence is not just informed by the data you collect. That means their name, their address, their transaction history, but also the wealth of descriptive and predictive data that Blackbaud can append directly into the platform. Now, just as we all have preferences regarding how we transact, so I, for example, just refilled a prescription with Walgreens the other day via text, which, by the way, was the coolest thing ever. Didn't have to do anything other than hit yes, please refill. Right? Your recurring donors are the same. Right? We believe in empowering you to communicate in any channel that your supporters prefer, as well as giving them open access to their data on demand, so they can choose the amounts. They can choose the payment methods that are most appropriate in that moment. So when we say we believe in acquiring and matching supporters, empowering intelligent actions, and providing channels and choice, that's the holistic way that we believe organizations can use Blackbaud to manage their recurring gift programs. So let me give you a tiny bit deeper look at what I mean. So I mentioned earlier this complete constituent profile is tracked for all supporters. Right here you see Barbara Ibanez's record. It's the easy way to be able to track all of Barbara's interactions within your organization, such as a complete timeline of all touch points showing every known communication with her. It also includes her complete financial history from first donation to the last, with the ability to drill down into each and every component. Because recurring gift records for us are first-class objects with a separation of payments versus the recurring gift plan itself. So here you're actually seeing an individual payment. Now note, that is related to the actual plan itself, to the initial gift and all the details behind it. So we provide you, again, out of the box, no configuration needed, with that ability to manage all sides of that equation, from the initial gift, seeing all subsequent gifts, modifications, upgrades, downgrades, and that's what we mean by first-class functionality for recurring giving. Now, the goal here is also giving you a complete picture of what's happening so you can navigate that life cycle of gifts. That means everything from understanding your multiple constituencies and where they fit in a recurring gift life cycle, who's incepting, who's lapsing, what's the status over time. So you can get that longitudinal picture of who are you bringing in, who are you lapsing off the file, who's at risk, and also being able to see that trend of revenue, of constituents, and all the details that you need to manage a complex recurring giving program. But let's transition to something else. Right? Let's talk about high-touch commitments. Everything from major to plan to corporate to principal to transformational giving, all the wonderful different languages we use to talk about high-touch giving. Now, high-touch giving is just that, right? It's a high-touch approach. It begins, first of all, with knowing more about your prospects. It also requires tools that are accessible, giving your fundraising officers access to their prospects on demand from any device. And it needs an easy-to-use platform for managing fundraising plans and a step-by-step cultivation process. So knowing more about your supporters means understanding what they care about. I showed this a little while ago. It means having access to details like their social profile, all of their recent posts, their current interests. Think of this as real-time understanding of what your supporters and your potential prospects care about. And it's these activities and knowing this that helps you better plan communications and ultimately all of your interactions and proposals. Now, data is also a vital part of this. It's not just knowing that real-time analysis. It's also understanding a prospect's giving preferences across the social good community. Who else are they donating to? It means being able to identify wealth assets and even seeing proprietary to Blackbaud variables like affluence. And understanding the amount of discretionary wealth that a prospect has, which is vital to knowing the amount to ask for. But having worked with many major gift officers in my 20 years, I know that nothing is usable unless it's accessible. I can't count the number of major gift officers I talk to who work in spreadsheets. Why? Because it's accessible to them on demand. Right? Blackbaud's platform focuses on being available anywhere and any device. Right? Just imagine planning or thinking through a prospect trip. Wouldn't you want to instantly be able to find all potential prospects in a geographic location that you're traveling to, or find the specific ones you want to visit just by touching them with your finger, and be able to filter all of this by using data, right? Who are the highest quality prospects in an area? Using advanced predictive data to understand who's really capable of giving at this time period. And that's the idea of making high-touch giving actually accessible. But data and accessibility only go so far. Right? Any quality high-touch giving system needs first-class solicitation planning. Whether it's on a mobile device, a desktop, your favorite tablet, right? The Blackbaud platform gives you easy-to-use moves management planning, as well as point-and-click visit or call tracking. The entire point of this is to help your organization secure as many large gifts as possible. So to us, high-touch giving means you need to know more about your prospects, to have access to their records anywhere, anytime, from any device, with the ability to plan and then cultivate at the touch of a finger. But let's walk through a bit of a deeper dive of what I mean by high-touch giving. So Blackbaud's platform gives you a dedicated interface for fundraisers. Think of swiping across my prospects, so easy access to key prospects in a portfolio. We also provide dashboards focusing on KPIs specific to things like fundraising pipelines, with the ability to drill in and navigate to key fundraising asks. That means instant access to everything that's being proposed throughout your organization, and at the push of a button, clicking in to see all activities, all funding amounts, all solicitors, all details that are part of a proposal. So when I want to drill in and see what's happened most recently with this major gift, I can do so. I can see the most recent meeting. I can see all the details of that and know that it's integrated with typical productivity and email platforms like Office 365. So when I'm emailing my prospects, that can be automatically tracked. I can add things to my calendar and thus have an accessible system that gives me as a major gift or planned gift officer all the things I need at the touch of a finger. Now, one of my favorite pieces. All nonprofit organizations are founded for a reason, right? That reason is your mission. Having worked in this industry, I understand what this means. Right? The programs you manage, whether they're grant funding, service delivery, patient care, advocacy, those are the reason you exist, not just to fundraise. Right? So Blackbaud is heavily invested in helping organizations manage the programs that define their mission. That includes engaging with supporters beyond just donations. It means financial accountability with recognizing program revenue and expenses and ensuring donor intent is met. It also means proving the outcomes that your organization is driving via its programs. So when we say engaging beyond dollars, we understand not all of your supporters are donors, right? Some are advocates, some are volunteers, some are just mission recipients. And we make sure that all of them are given the tools they need to connect to your mission. But it's not just that front-end experience, right? Organizations must be able to track all of these engagements on a supporter record, right? Being able to marry your non-financial interactions with that full donor record so you can see the totality of their experience with your mission. Now, as it pertains to what we consider actual program management, the Blackbaud platform can help with managing everything from inbound grant requests, whether those are corporate, whether they're individual, right? Ultimately, through all of the approval workflows and to the funds associated with maintaining this vital part of your business. Going back to the concept of donor intent I mentioned earlier, being able to see funds come in, being able to watch as they are approved, and being able to measure as they are distributed so you have that concept of financial accountability baked into everything that you do. But one of the challenges we hear most frequently from nonprofit organizations is how to tie program outcomes to funding. We allow the connection of funders to recipients, so we can tie program results back to program goals. We've even partnered with the United Nations to adopt their Sustainable Development Goals, and we work every day with our clients to visualize these outcomes, to visualize their achievements for boards, for donors, and their program teams. So for us, mission and program management means engaging with supporters beyond just transactions. It means tracking and accounting for program activities and funding, and ultimately proving the outcomes that your organization is dedicated to driving. Now, as a bit of a deeper dive, let's take a look at how we're tracking that progress at the program level and then rolling it up. So I mentioned a second ago that we have that ability to track all of your individual program results, to be able to have self-reported results from, say, grant fundees or other program participants, so that they can report back to you and you can understand where are you against program KPIs. What are you trying to achieve within a particular initiative or project, and see the longitudinal results. Now again, that's at that individual program level. So that's part of your organization's mission. But you also need to represent the totality of it. So rolling this up to what overall is your organization trying to accomplish? That means total funding, total KPIs. How are you impacting not just your particular population that you're working with and your KPIs, but ultimately the world's social good, which is the idea of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. How we are partnering as a social good industry to simply make the world a better place. Now, we've talked about recurring giving, high-touch giving, and mission and program management. Let's move to another important topic both for the industry and Blackbaud, and that's marketing. And specifically here, I want to focus on journey-based marketing programs and how the industry is moving more toward them. So journey-based marketing requires understanding the paths your supporters take in their growth with your organization. That means you must be able to connect with them personally. Right? To have the tools you need to actually execute journey-based or multi-path marketing campaigns, and a system that can understand and tag constituents throughout their life cycle with you. So engaging personally with your supporters means multiple things. It means, first and foremost, allowing them to tell their story of how they were affected by or how they're ultimately contributing to your mission. It means that you must give them the tools that they need to feel empowered to connect with you in any way that they see fit. That might be via fundraising. It might be via volunteering. It might be via running a marathon or advocating. There are many different ways that today's individual change agents envision impacting you, whether, again, it's amount raised. Right? It might be the amount they've actually given to you. It could be the number of times they've encouraged someone to go to your website, the number of times they've shared your content. Again, trained. as part of a marathon or something else, right? Volunteered, or engaged the community on your behalf. It's all of these things that tie together to make that experience. But it also means having the data necessary on your end to understand the appropriate messaging. So you can understand, again, interests, financial commitment, all the recent activities to personalize the path and messaging that you are providing them. And the technology needed to communicate out across the variety of channels. Yes, direct mail is important, all the direct marketing elements. But look at where we're moving as an industry, where many people are incepted, for example, in digital ads. And the complete personalization is now available via digital media. So providing that, again, to your fingertips to use to engage personally. Now, as I said before, part of journey-based marketing is having the tools you need to predict performance, to better understand your supporters so you know who to connect with and when, and honestly, what's the cost and benefit of doing so? You also need technology that can visualize these journeys and help you execute the complexities that simply come with today's omnichannel constituent experience. And last, you must have that ability to track all of these interactions, all of the touch points, outbound communications, inbound communications, so that you have within one place every single interaction with that supporter. You also must be able to see not just these transactional appeals, but what sits behind them. All the ways you're classifying the individual, all their communication preferences, their interests, because this tied together is what helps you create that constituent life cycle and identify what communication, what marketing path along the constituent journey you should push someone on. So what that means to your organization is having the ability to connect with each and every supporter on an individual level across channels, right? That means having what you need to plan those journeys. Right? That also means having that data, the data inherent in a marketing-centric platform so you understand truthfully how to communicate out. Now, as a bit of a deeper dive, journey-based marketing is only effective as you can understand its outcomes. That's why Blackbaud focuses a great amount of resources on making marketing data consumable. So that means things like surfacing trends on outbound appeals. It means helping you understand how groups of supporters or constituents are performing, right, across campaigns within a particular campaign. It also means surfacing specific KPIs and dashboards on retention, on acquisition, on recapture rates. So once again, you understand that totality of that marketing and constituent life cycle, and you can truly see the effectiveness of your efforts across all of them. Now, the final topic that I want to cover today is often one of the least discussed, but it's one of the most productive for organizations that are looking to change a CRM or leverage technology effectively. And it's the idea of operational efficiency. The goal here is making sure that technology alleviates organizational challenges rather than causes them. So at Blackbaud, we believe in helping organizations automate internal processes, in focusing on data quality, knowing that it has a direct correlation to cost, and in providing access to information at all levels of an organization. Now, process automation for nonprofits is often different than what you might find in the for-profit world. Things like gift entry, transaction, interaction imports, duplicate detection, resolution, things that are likely very familiar to you. They're core to how you do your business in the enterprise nonprofit space. Blackbaud has 35+ years of experience in these process flows. And we've partnered with some of the best process automation companies in the business on enabling our clients to integrate these processes across all of your systems. And we mean even non-Blackbaud systems, which is something Keith mentioned earlier. Right? The ability to operate in an ecosystem of platforms so that ultimately your Blackbaud functionality, your Blackbaud data can integrate automatically with other commercial-grade systems that you are using throughout your business. Now, data quality has a cost, I think, as anyone who's ever run a marketing program or fundraising experience knows. So we know from looking across all of our clients, over 35,000, what good data looks like and how bad data manifests into wasted resources. So we focus on embedding data quality tools throughout our platform. That means providing push-button ways of updating things like addresses, phone numbers, deceased information. So once again, your data is a benefit, not a hindrance. Because the currency of this century is information. And having direct access to that information is absolutely vital to your business. So think of everything from easy-to-use tools to find and select constituents, right? Making sure any end user can do that. 2, high-quality reporting tools that let you identify the KPIs that matter to your organization and report on those from an executive level all the way down to an end user. So although it's not a terribly sexy topic, operational efficiency is the engine that drives technology success. And we believe in helping our clients automate processes and ensuring that data, as I said, is a benefit, not a cost, and providing access to the information you need to drive effective decisions. So as I wrap up kind of the technology portion of this, I want to end with referencing our showcase. Right? Our clients are actually talking about their success. And I want to give an example of operational efficiency. So Cincinnati Public Radio, a longtime Blackbaud client, actually uses us for all of their recurring giving. There are over 7,000 recurring donors. Right? Their operational efficiency success is they're using our programs to automate everything about this relationship with their sustaining givers. It means recapturing things like lapsed credit cards, automating notification receipting, automating notification when a card is about to lapse or a gift expires. Right? So all that is taken out of the hands of their marketers and fundraisers and put into a system to optimize that relationship. So as we wrap up, I want to remind everyone of our primary focus. We believe in supporting organizations from the point they acquire a supporter to the end result of actually proving outcomes associated with that donation. We believe, remember this, in making your mission come to life through technology. And I hope you've seen that today. So I'm going to pass it back to Rachel to sort of finish our wrap-up, and then if we have time, we'll open it for questions.
Awesome, Linton. Preach it. So my pretty diagram from the beginning to kind of bring it home here today, we believe that delivering your mission requires more than fundraising, but truly an open, flexible technology platform that's tailored to your unique mission. And your complete solution is so much more than just software. It has to support every single aspect of managing your nonprofit. Blackbaud is the world's leading social good cloud software company with over 30 years of nonprofit expertise. We increase your impact through services, expertise, data intelligence, and software solutions for your unique fundraising, relationship management, and program delivery needs. We superpower your mission by providing a complete supporter engagement, revenue management, and operations solution. And superpowering your nonprofit means driving super powerful outcomes. So one of the things that Linton talked about multiple times today is a real highlight for us. Our customers at a median see 14% growth in sustainer revenue year over year from our digital marketing components, which is really exciting because anywhere that you see sustainer growth, you see a pathway towards a better future for our nonprofit organizations with reliable streams of revenue. And because we understand that revenue is the lifeblood of organizations, we also see significant growth with annual campaigns seeing 51% larger gift sizes and increases in major giving revenue. And all of this is driven by things like intelligence and automation that make it easier for nonprofits to find success with our solutions. And speaking of customer success, we truly are committed to supporting you throughout the entire journey of customer success. our focus is on stewarding your success in the long term. And whether it's our modern innovative technology solutions or our 800+ consultants, trainers, support agents, and customer success managers, or the insights that we are delivering from our philanthropic data set and from our research on the industry, our approach is extremely comprehensive, outcome-focused, and is always centered around you, the customer. And I got really excited there talking about all the different research and resources that we pour into the industry. And I geek out on this because in my job, this is one of the highlights of things that I get to work on. So we invite you to check out all the different resources and ideas. Blackbaud really, as a company, takes it upon ourselves to invest in the future of the industry. So would love for you to take advantage of all the rich resources that we have. Over the past year and a half or so, we formed an institute that is dedicated to providing insights to the nonprofit community at large, and we're producing lots of research at the top level, really understanding what's driving the philanthropic sector forward. And if you're a little bit more on Linton's page here, I also wanted to share information for accessing Blackbaud Sky's developer portal, which has all kinds of rich resources if you do want to geek out and tailor the technology to your specific needs with our open capabilities. And then last but not least, I would invite you to take advantage of our Nonprofit Resource Center. And my favorite part about this is that it's really a choose your own adventure kind of experience where you can pick what type of this nonprofit engagement is most interesting to you and find a wealth of different resources, be they white papers or webinars, blog posts, all kinds of great things that we do here, podcasts. So producing lots of terrific content that we hope can really help you to take your mission to the next level. And with 3 minutes left, I think we're about ready to wrap it up for today's time.
Well, thank you, Rachel, and thank you, Linton. And that was, I'd say that was both really informative, and you guys are clearly excited about what you're offering in it. And
there's some coffee going on over here too, so that helps. That's right. Well, I want to thank you two, and thank Blackbaud, and thank everyone who attended today. I want to point out some of the resources that we have available as well on our website, teamheller.com. A lot about how to develop a CRM vision. So, what do you want your CRM to accomplish, and how do you then tie that back to choosing the right system for yourself and implementing, and a lot about all sorts of topics around CRM and how to realize that. So I want to invite you all to our next webinar. Information will be forthcoming. The next in the series is with NGO Connect, a fundraising application running on the Salesforce platform, and then we'll be moving on to Stratus Live and Microsoft Dynamics and PledgeMaker and Clearview and Roy. So please continue to enjoy the series in person or to accessing these webinars on our website. And with that, I'll say thank you, and everyone go and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a bunch, everyone. Bye.